Hello and welcome to another episode of A Quick Brew.
Yet another episode of A Quick Brew. Cheers, David.
Cheers, James. Good to have you and today a guest with us again.
Yes.
So before we launch in, and I'm sure it'll be a great chat, really looking forward to this one, I just want to address very quickly your alias. Obviously, we've come to know you as James something Sharples each episode, and today, strikingly, James Superman Sharples. So
all right.
Talk to me about that.
Actually feeling like I was flying and that I was Superman on my birthday weekend in doing the zip lining in Wales. If anybody hasn't done it, fully recommend it. Terrifying, but it's always the anticipation that's the scary bit, isn't it? The actual doing of it was completely exhilarating.
Really?
So recommend it to anyone.
I've done it at Blue Water in Kent, and I think that's probably a smaller version.
Smaller version. You need to do it. So the one in Wales, I believe, is the fastest in the world and the longest in Europe.
Wow.
So it's wicked. Honestly, it's absolutely unbelievable.
And worth a trip out to Wales.
1,000,000%. I mean, I love Wales anyway. It's a beautiful part of the UK, isn't it? Wales, especially sort of like on the south coast during summer, and it's very green, very picturesque. You basically can't help but feeling bathed in nature whilst in Wales, in my opinion. But yeah, it's fully worth it.
Awesome. I think you might be doing it slightly different to me, but it sounded like fun, so that's good. James, without further ado, I think we should bring center stage our guest, Danny Macklin. So I'll welcome him on board. Hopefully there's something of a crowd reaction to that, and we'll get into the chat.
Excellent.
Danny, good to see you.
Welcome, Danny.
Well, that's quite a build-up. Hello there, David and James. Good to see and meet you.
Good to see you.
Absolutely. Great to see you. And also Liberace for our viewers.
In the background there.
That's an incredibly bold backdrop you have there.
I could probably move my head just so for once it looks like I've got hair.
Oh, the memories. The memories.
Many moons ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So great to have you with us, Danny. You will have heard that we have gone as far as mentioning your name. So if you wouldn't mind, just a very quick introduction to yourself, who you are, what you do, and probably how you make your clients' lives better.
Yeah, thank you. First off, really enjoying the podcast, not just saying that because I've got the opportunity to be on here, but really enjoying it.
Thank you.
I travel quite a distance from one end of Essex to the other each morning and evening, so it's passing the journey, listening to yours wisdom, which is really good. So,
cheers,
I work for a company called Media 10. We organise a range of consumer and some trade shows, the flagship ones being Grand Designs and what I work on, the Ideal Home Show. So the Christmas show takes place at the end of November, and our spring flagship show takes place 10th to the 19th of April at Olympia in London. So my responsibility is to bring new partners as well as looking after the existing ones to the Ideal Home Show. Longest running consumer show, 118 years it will be next year. And it's completely new to me. My background was working in professional football, which is where I had the joy of first employing James.
Danny started my down South Korea journey.
It was. I remember going up to Sheffield, wasn't it, James? I think to poach you down, and it was one of the best moves I've made.
Oh, cheers!
We had some good times.
Oh, we had some amazing times as well, surrounded by difficulty. Because of those that don't know Ron Martin, he is not the easiest man to work for.
Wow, there you go. Ron Martin, first mention on the pod, and I'm a South United fan, Danny. So I am a long-suffering South United fan under his leadership. I mean, in fairness, we did some good things as a club in his time, but there was the other side which wasn't so good.
Moving on, it's good to see
so.
under Justin and the rest of the leadership with Kevin, etc.
Definitely.
Moving in the direction it should, and it's. I support Braintree as a sort of, if you like, non-league team.
Oh, okay.
And it's just, I'm looking forward to sort of the games over Christmas and New Year, but it's just mad that they're in the same division. It's, you talk about sleeping giants, but going off track, but Southend is right at the top of that list of sleeping giants.
If we start talking about football, this podcast is going to go in a completely different direction.
One thing I think I was interested to speak with you about, Danny, and you mentioned it in our pre-chat chat, was the value, and this very much connects with some previous episodes we've had with regards to AI, automations, online digital, and then human connection. And obviously your whole role and remit and focus is on bringing people together in presumably a physical location to talk, engage, and hopefully get value. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And say where you've had some great conversations with the guest you had on that brought the AI to real life, it is obviously going to be a key component, as you rightly say in previous podcasts. It can't replace that human connection, and I think that's where consumer shows really do offer that uniqueness. You think of how many brands, and certainly the brand leaders, don't really have any day-to-day interaction. If they've got retail stores, they may go and pop in for a little while, but the reality is they have no connection with their brand on a day-to-day basis.
Danny, I wanted to just ask you on something like this, because I mean, the shows that you're talking about, you know, it's the proper ones. It's not your local business shows where people are on a table and two pop-up stands either side. You know, some of the work and effort that goes into these displays and these people's stands is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, you essentially have houses in there.
Yeah, we literally have a show home, which is a full-scale house. The operation that we have, James, is it's extensive in terms of that setup for all our shows. Probably similar to the sort of crowd that you had when you were doing your music performances. Similar sort of numbers, 160,000. That's the audience for you.
This is true. This is true. But the thing I wanted to ask about that, because of like you say, I mean, me and Dave are all advocates for human connection. Going and experiencing a show like that, I've actually experienced it myself when I went over to Germany to help building stands. So basically, throughout the pandemic, when everybody was furloughed, probably shouldn't be saying this because the tax man will be after me, but I had to find some avenues for extra revenue because yes, I was getting furlough pay, but I was only getting 80% of the cut off up to 30 grand. So I essentially lost half of my money overnight. So I helped some friends in setting up these exhibition displays for basically textiles, and it was Christie was the stand that we were working on. The stand was unbelievable, and you know, these are the proper shows, and they're probably not even at the scale that Danny's working on now with the home show. But do you ever see it going to where people are basically just going to put on a VR headset and wander around somewhere?
A proportion of society, yeah, I'd probably do that myself in some, you know, that has its space. But I just, you know, constantly speaking to brands now that are kind of being woken up to the fact that they're doing most of their stuff behind closed curtains.
Yeah.
How do you get, without being able to touch, feel, integrate, interact, have an immersive experience? And we have an awful lot of stand holders and partners that use VR to bring that to life, but they've first got that connection face to face with that consumer.
Exactly.
So it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid between in-person and digital.
100%.
So again, going to that, that theory of complementing and assisting rather than replacing.
Exactly that phrase, James.
Exactly that. And it's, because I mean, it's about awakening all of those senses at shows like that, isn't it? You know, from VR, you're not going to get a sense of smell. From VR, you're not going to get a sense of touch. Yes, you're going to get a sense of, you can hear and you can see. But, you know, to have a fully, truly brilliant experience, I think it's like you say, if you're going round, and as an example, if John Lewis have got a new cushion range or a new bedding range out, yeah, it looks nice, but you want to feel what it feels like, do you know, before you actually buy that and take that home and sleep in it. So, yeah, I've spoken to people that are thinking about doing like fully virtual shows, but I just can't see it having the same impact as an in-person event where all of those senses are unlocked.
Yeah, and having that audience together all at once and being able to have that one-to-one. If you've got that VR headset on, or if you're doing stuff via webinars, etc., the consumer, you cannot beat that what you said, collecting every single sense and delivering on it.
Well, I tried some virtual networking, and yeah, it's never going to be in-person networking. I actually went on one, I'm not going to name it, but it was a virtual networking, and we tried it, and it was during the pandemic, so it's trying to keep everybody together again. And anyway, it was one where you basically scrolled across and you got to talk to somebody individually rather than on the table settings.
Is that Tinder, James? Sorry, is that Tinder?
Is that Tinder? Yeah. So swipe left and swipe right. But then, yeah, it came on to what, and there was a woman in a dressing gown and having a cup of tea and stuff. I was thinking, hang on a sec, have I joined the right site here, or? But yeah, that in-person connection, that buzz around the room, is never going to be replaced by VR, I don't think. And VR's making some impressive leaps and bounds. I mean, if you think, because I've always had a fascination and an interest in VR. If you think when the VR first came out, It was, do you remember that shark? I don't know if you've seen it, but it was the shark cage one where you were in a shark cage and the shark was swimming around. And for what it was at the time, it was terrifying. But if you look back on that now, compared to what's been developed within VR, it just seems leagues apart. So it's only going to keep advancing and only going to keep getting better. But still, at the end of the day, you're not going to have that sense of taste. You're not going to have that sense of touch, and you're not going to have that sense of that smell, the vibrancy, and everything within a live exhibition and an in-person show.
It's well summed up.
So Danny, do you have a challenge getting exhibitors or businesses to invest in in-person shows? Are they trying to push back and cite digital as an alternate? Or is there still a real proactivity amongst these businesses to exhibit and really want to throw money and budget into these in-person events?
Yeah, so 50-50. You've got brands that we've worked with for years and years. And so the show's been going for 118 years. There's not brands that work for us for the whole 118 years. We've got brands that work with us for multiple decades. They get it. They completely understand it. So it's really sort of using those case studies to educate and inform brand directors, commercial directors, marketing directors, etc., of the opportunity that exists there. And it's it's the perfect platform to launch new products, to showcase your USPs. It's all very easy to put it on a sort of an advert, but being able, again, that look and touch and feel is paramount.
And I use expos and have attended both as an exhibitor and as an attendee. And actually, in speaking to a lot of exhibitors, and this may be different from this particular vertical that you're now working in, but often I think it's felt that if you're not in the room, even if you're not actively selling, but if you're not in the room as an exhibitor, then you're really vulnerable to potentially even losing existing clients. So as an example, I go to a lot of recruitment expos, and there's lots of recruitment technology, so RecTech. If a CRM provider or an ATS provider aren't there, then immediately you kind of wonder, well, why not? And then you look at the dozen that are, and it starts to lead you maybe a little closer down that journey to considering selecting one of those. So I've used expos in the past, not only to sell, but actually to probably consolidate and just reinforce relationships. And I think it's always a great opportunity to meet with stakeholders and long-standing clients as well. I don't know if there's any crossover or parallels in what you do there, Danny, or...
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I've been to expos that are consumer as well as trade, and both have very much their place. And it's a great way to sort of do business. You can meet with people on these trade stands, on these consumer stands, and have good discussions. So when you're looking to bring new partners in, that's sort of the primary tool that I use, because they're sold on the concept of live immersive experiences via exhibitions.
And I think you only have to go to London's Excel to see how much they believe in live events for the future. I mean, their investment there is significant. And every time you go, it's growing and growing and growing, and they're folding in different ways of building these immersive experiences.
Olympia, London, where obviously we host the Idle Home Show, and Christmas will be as well. I think it's into the billions in terms of what they've invested. Very similar. They obviously, very much see no end to the...
Olympia's a great venue.
Yeah,
It's a great venue. But anyway, it goes back to, so like Danny was saying, my days in the entertainment, when I had an entertainment company, we'd put loads of videos together, we'd put marketing strategies together for the bands that were actually under our books. But the way we got the most business was keeping it live, which was basically a showcase that was arranged every year, where you submitted your bands, put your bands on a roster over 3 days. All of the P&O cruises used to be there, Virgin Cruises used to be there, all of the bookers from Bourne Leisure, all the bookers from the big hotel chains. That's when the most business got done. I mean, granted, with the entertainment industry, the business was always done in the bar afterwards rather than the actual event. I don't know if that's the same for your industry, Danny, but that was paramount, was actually getting the sense of what that band or that soloist or that performer performed live. You can only see that by seeing them in person. You can doctor a video, you can edit a video together. You can't beat an actual being in front of a live band and seeing how they perform. And that's how our entertainment got booked, because we were awesome.
Exactly that. Same applies across, sport as well. What's it better watching it live rather than watching it on Sky or whatever it is? Exactly the same principle.
Exactly.
Mindful of time, Danny, and I don't want us to miss an opportunity to pick up on some of these things. A feature we've recently introduced, and you may have heard it on the pod, is the Quick Brew Bookcase. Is that the working title, James?
I think we started off with a shelf. It's gone to a case. I'm hoping we get to the stage where it can be a library.
So the Quick Brew Bookcase. Have you brought a book along, or a recommendation of a book that you can share with our with our audience, Danny?
Yeah, we've got a library in our new show home, so that links together. So
nice.
Very nice.
Very much
nice.
space to be able to do that. But yeah, I'm a big advocate for learning. I try to read probably not as much as I should. I normally get through about a couple of books a month. Normally when I go away without the children, should we say, which I'm allowed to do, then I'll try and get a good few books in. But the best book, and I reread it probably 2-3 months ago. So I was chief executive of Leyton Orient for 5 very enjoyable years. The chairman of Leyton Orient, Nigel Travis, one of the best bosses I've ever had and one of the best bosses anyone could have, was chairman, and at the time executive CEO and executive chairman of Dunkin', as it was then Dunkin' Brands, but obviously now Dunkin'. And he wrote a book called The Challenge Culture. And when I first looked at it, I was like, I'm intrigued what this is. Obviously, very much encouraged to read it as being one of his CEOs. Best book I've ever read, and I'm not on commission because I know that Nigel makes no money from the books, or next to none. But it's about pushback, and it's about constructive critique with your colleagues, with your peers, and if that's delivered in the right way, that's the best way that organisations can push forward. And I think that's what sort of led to my career success that I had at Leyton Orient in other roles, and hopefully in this role, just with that ability to, if something's just you feel can be improved, rather than just saying that's not going to work, constructively say how that could be done. And I think it's one of the biggest sort of cultural things that I think obviously James, this is very much in your space. It is David within recruitment. I think you cannot underestimate that importance of culture, and being able to take the right critique delivered in the right way, in the right format, but also a bit.
That's the true growth mindset. With a fixed mindset, that is you can only good at something if you've got a particular skill, whether you're born with it, and if you're not, you're not. Whereas a growth mindset is a very challenging mindset, and that's where growth happens. That's where the best people, without growth mindsets, there wouldn't be anything invented. We wouldn't have internet. We wouldn't have, I've released a video about it today. But yeah, I imagine that book surrounds a lot around the growth mindset rather than the fixed mindset.
Yeah, well worth a read.
Top recommendation. We'll pick up the Amazon link and drop it in the show notes as well, because I think that sounds like an awesome pick. And actually, I haven't heard of that book at all, so that's exactly what this feature is all about, I guess, isn't it? Just trying to surface these gems.
Good business read.
So while we have you on a roll then, Danny, another feature, and I need to get this on the soundboard. We're going to have to work on this, James. But another feature we've introduced now is the golden nugget of our guests. So Danny's golden nugget should hopefully run to about 30 seconds, a bit of a closing thought from you that might inspire our listeners again. So if you're ready, I don't have a stop clock, but if we can try and keep 30 seconds, that'd be awesome. If you wouldn't mind, a golden nugget, Danny.
Yeah, it's about pushing your boundaries and coming out of your comfort zone. So whether that's within your brand, within your role, look at things of how you can do things differently. Look at ways that you could do something different to your competition. The noise out there is extensive. There's a way to be able to get cut through that noise by being creative, being original and challenging and pushing those boundaries.
Perfect.
Love it.
Brilliant.
Absolutely love it. Shall we?
Yeah.
I love that. That's great, actually. Yeah, I think this is my favourite feature of the show now, James.
Yeah, it's a good.
The golden nugget.
Definitely needs an intro little jingle, I reckon.
It does, like the golden nugget. I'll see what I can come up with.
Yeah, okay. As long as you're not singing in it, James. But all joking apart, I will say James got ribbed for his singing, and his singing voice, let alone his ability with guitar, etc. He's no Liberace, but he honestly. I'm going to do as a charity challenge, James, that you're to do a sort of 30-second song piece, I think, with your guitar, because I think that there's a hidden talent there that many haven't yet seen.
No copyright issues.
I'm up for it. I'll do it.
Let's do it. And if you can cameo as Liberace in that particular segment, might push the views up a little bit.
Excellent.
maybe a TikTok one. But no, Danny, really enjoyed that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate
Danny,
your
buddy.
time. That's
Enjoy the listening.
fantastic.
Thank you.
everyone.
Great to see you.
Likewise, take care.
Take care.
Bye. So there we go, James.
There we
Another
go.
great guest.
Episode.
Brilliant.
Great
I really,
episode, and
really
love
love the golden nugget.
Yeah, really good golden nugget. And I fully believe in that. You know, you can't grow, you can't develop as a person, and no innovation happens without pushing those boundaries and getting into the zone where you do feel uncomfortable. You know, discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the catalyst for innovation. And you've got to stretch your limits to be able to see how far you can develop and how far you can grow. So, like you said as well, cutting through the noise. If you're in a heavily sedated space, you know, you've got to do something differently. You've got to think outside the box to get noticed. So I love that bit of advice.
You mentioned John Lewis. I don't know if that was some sort of desperate plea for another show sponsor. We're going to get one. We're going to snag one of the big fish. And also, Danny's laid the gauntlet now for you to create some form of magic.
I will. I'm
use as a jingle. Mate,
I'm
I
up
love
for
that.
the challenge.
I love that. Absolutely. So get to Wales and Zipline. Let's get the jingle down.
Yeah.
And until next time, James, I think it's been a great episode.
Great episode.
Cheers.
See you soon, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for listening.